Hey, Dan Meyer here, and I'm back once again with 5 more tips on what you can do to have even more success in your business. And today we're going to focus on the topic of outsourcing for beginners. So if you're new to outsourcing, if you haven't hired anybody that doesn't work physically in your location, if you're not really familiar with how to do really effective outsourcing, I'm going to talk to you about that today. So whether you're looking to hire a virtual assistant for a couple hours a day, or you're looking to add an entire team of people eventually that you want to have based overseas, there's reasons why people do that, right? We do that because of cost, because of 24/7 coverage, because lack of local talent. There's a lot of reasons why people outsource. And so what I'm going to share with you is some universal tips that I've learned about what you need to know to get started. And even if you're already doing outsourcing, maybe these tips will help you improve what you're doing. So number one is you have to have clear expectations. You have to have clear expectations of what you want to outsource and what you're going to have people do and how they're going to do it and how they're going to report it and how you're going to quality check it and how it's going to be able to be used in your business. And I'll give you an example. So say you want to be able to have somebody do all your social media for you, right? So you kind of tell them what your social media is, you get an idea of what your goal is, you figure out your target market, optimal posting times, the best way to message them. You kind of brainstorm all that together, and then they start doing the work. Well, how do they do the work? How do they post it? How are you going to be able to check it? Do you have to approve things? Do you want to do a quality process? Do they post it themselves? Do they prepare it and you post it? Work all these things out, and maybe you stagger it. Maybe you're more involved in the beginning, but eventually you want it to be kind of automated for you. So you long-term goal is to have them do all of it yourself. But you want to plan that out, write it out, right? So you can do this a couple ways. You can write a document, right? You can put it in an email. You can record a video, whatever's easiest for you. Set clear expectations and communicate with them these expectations. I always think it's best to have it in writing. Like I always do contracts when I take on clients that I do outsourcing for them. I always make sure in the contracts that we have a lot of different language about, delivery times and about quality checks and about how to provide feedback and when the outsourcing person will be working, what their schedule will be. All that should be locked in really quickly. So there's not really misfires when it comes to expectations. Number two, check your assumptions. I tell people this all the time, is that it's going to take time. I tell people all the time that it's going to take time to outsource effectively. People want this. They want the magic solution. They want the silver bullet that's going to all of a sudden free up all their time without them having to invest a lot. And that's a recipe for disaster. I talk about how you want to master the vertical before you go horizontal. This is super important because people do well when they achieve successes, when they have wins. And if you give them easy to do things that they can master quickly, that gives them confidence to take on more. The worst thing you can do is give somebody 7 things or more to do at one time. They will do all 7 of them poorly. Maybe a couple will do okay, but none of them, they won't excel at anything because nobody can be a jack of all trades on day one. People have to build up their competence and their confidence. So you do that by checking your assumptions on what it is you're going to outsource and be realistic about what you want to see happen. If you hire somebody off the internet and boom, you expect them to do your entire social media perfectly, and you expect them to do, what would take somebody 40 hours a week to do in 10 hours a week, that's just not realistic, right? It's going to fail. And that happens all the time. I see a lot of virtual assistants who've been burned by clients who had really unrealistic assumptions and expectations. Number 3, invest time wisely. How much time does it take you to do a task right now that you want to delegate? Say you have a team of people that are doing outbound sales calls and your team is maxed out and you have more calls than you can make. So you want to bring on a salesperson that's outside your circle. You want to outsource some of your sales efforts. So how much time does it take to train a salesperson? How much time does it take for that salesperson to go from day one to when they're running independently? Same thing's going to happen with a virtual assistant, maybe even more. Same thing's going to happen with a virtual team that's not physically located with you. It's going to take them even longer, most likely. So is that a bad thing? No, because over time, they're going to be able to provide other value to your business, maybe financially, maybe schedule-wise. But you have to invest time. You have to be realistic about how much time it takes. And you have to invest time, right? You can't just delegate stuff without people having your input. They're going to need to know your voice, your style, your expectations. So have a couple meetings in the beginning, do some onboarding, figure out, how you can get somebody trained to do the things you want done the way you would do them so they can mimic that. That takes time. One of the biggest problems I have is I onboard clients fairly often that have all these things they want done. They're excited about having a virtual assistant. They're excited about hiring a virtual team. And yet they're too busy to ever delegate. And things just go sideways. They don't send any work. They're too busy to delegate, which is really a sign of really bad organization. So if you're somebody who's always busy and you're too busy to delegate, what does that say? You're probably not going to be easy for us to work with. We definitely can't solve your problems if you're not giving us work that we can do, organized, well-defined. So you need to plan this out, right? So if you want to hire somebody to take on a primary job function in your business, it's going to take some effort. So invest your time wisely. And I mentioned this before, and this is number 4, set easy to achieve tasks. Start out with some wins, low-hanging fruit, right? So when people start with social media, I would say, well, let us design a couple images. Let us take some of your quotes from your videos or from your blog post or from your book. Let us take and make some images in Canva, some simple images that are like quotes, inspirational things that you've said or been inspired by. Let us take a couple pictures of you, either in front of a group of people, in front of your audience, in front of your target market, something showing you do something, like some fun action selfies. Take those, and then take something else that you do that's fun, right? Maybe like pictures of you actually investing your time in front of your computer, researching something, attending a training, going to a conference, whatever it may be. Let's take those simple images and quotes and content and create, a couple weeks of content for you, a couple weeks on the calendar of social media posts. And then as we do those, we'll get your feedback, we'll tweak them. Then we start there, and then we add on the engagement. We start trying to get people more followers, more customers, more clients coming to you, whether it be on a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group or on Instagram. We build a plan, and we slowly execute it, and we put in a lot of easy-to-achieve tasks. We measure things based on metrics, right? We look at what your goals are, and we give ourselves goals that we want to meet. So say, for example, you want us to boost your Instagram profile, and we're going to spend 2 hours a day 5 days a week working on building engagement on Instagram. So we should be able to show within a couple weeks, we've added a couple hundred followers. We should be able, based on your business and your clientele and how far along you are in using IG, give you some idea that we can meet these metrics that will help achieve the goal, which is to get more engagement on Instagram. So you think about what your plan is. You think about the easiest tasks and you outsource those first. Win-wins for everyone. Number 5, build trust. You have to build trust. You have to trust people. You have to give them time to learn things. I've seen some people that fail epically because they have no patience. They don't allow the trust to be built. They're not investing the time, they're not organized, they're not realistic, and things just blow up. That happens more often than not, unfortunately, because people just don't want to trust. To grow your business, you're going to have to trust. And trust doesn't mean they always do it right. Trust means that you're committed to when they do it wrong. I've had every one of my VAs I've ever worked with, with the exception of one who's amazing. She never causes any problems. But the rest of my team, I can always think of at least one time where they did something that wasn't quite the way I wanted it, where I had to give them feedback. They had to redo it. That's normal. People make mistakes. We make mistakes. So you have to build trust, right? And trust means trusting the process, trusting what you're going to do long term. Give people, clear direction, allow them to ask for, follow-up and feedback, give them feedback when they don't do something right, do it constructively, put it in writing, build a plan. Again, it's going to take some time. You cannot outsource without investing time up front. But where I'm at now, I record this video you're looking at right now, and that's all I do. All the images you see, the intro music, the outro music, the fact that it gets posted on YouTube, any engagement with people that comment, subscribe, like, share, sharing this across other social media, putting it on my LinkedIn, putting it on my Facebook, taking these images and put them on Instagram. I don't do any of that. All I do is record a video. I built a process. In the beginning, it took time. A lot of feedback, a lot of mistakes were made, things were fixed. A couple months in, it was running smoothly. So that's what you have to do too. Think of a process, think of a task, think of a duty that's keeping you busy that can be done by somebody else, and figure out how to outsource it. If you want my help, that's why I'm here. All right, so you can go to sonicva.com, sonicva.com. You can drop a comment below, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this channel. I share content almost daily on how to be more effective using virtual assistants and virtual teams. So that's what I do well. I've been doing this for 10 years and I know a lot about it. So I hope that what I know up here, just a little bit was shared with you today, that will give you more success when it comes to outsourcing. If you haven't got started yet and you need someone to talk to, just let me know. So thank you for your time. I look forward to having more interaction with you soon. Thank you for watching the video. Now get out there and have an amazing day.